So, how about that Melania coin, huh? Listen, imagine we were trying to get legislation and this and that. I mean, I know because that's what I try to do. Work day and night to try to get something passed. All Trump has to do is launch a meme coin. And it's like the meme coin heard around the world. Nothing? Dead? Nice. Anyway, if you don't know me, I was the first live Bitcoin trading exchange right next to the New York stock market in 2013. It was pit trading. We had people, they grab all the traders coming out of the New York Stock Exchange, and we teach them how to trade. I give them free Bitcoin. IRS is looking for it. I'm an activist. I work for Ron Paul. What the hell do I know? I don't know. I'm trying to get people to stop using the dollar because in the 80s I had made a whole bunch of money and I lost it all when the stock market crashed. And I saw on the TV that when if Greenspan's briefcase was wider, we wouldn't have had the crash in '87. I go, what the hell is that? That's my owner. That guy owns me. That guy made me a fisherman because I had a whole bunch of money. I became a commercial fisherman. I lost everything, became a commercial fisherman. I go, what the hell is that? I thought the dollar was a bunch of cash. I mean, gold at Fort Knox. They'd show you on TV on the 3 channels we were allowed to see back then, before social media and everything else that has happened. So I went through a big down rabbit hole at the library. You know what that is, right? The library, that museum where they got dead trees. Sometimes you got the rock and roll librarian. Very few times. So I learned all that. I kept reading. I went on a boat. I mean, I don't say this on stage, but I'm going to say it today because I got nothing else to say because my slides aren't working. I got hit with a wave. This was December. I got hit with a wave, smashed against the deck a little, and I had a very fast hallucination. That hallucination was there was a big black octopus that's in all the books now that I realized that I was reading about the Federal Reserve, with a big red eye, and he's underneath the Federal Reserve building, and the tentacles went up these big tall buildings, and on the parapet walls it said CNN, ABC, CBS, the news channels on the parapet walls, and the tentacles went inside and started typing on the teleprompter, and the reporters were reading what the octopus was typing. That's what I saw. And you ever see that thing when they got all the reporters saying the same thing at the same time? I was like, holy shit, what the fuck's going on? So when that happened to me, I had a truckload of fish. I would drive, my partner would captain the boat, and we'd switch or whatever, but we worked 24 hours a day. And I got into the city. I said, I got to go in there and destroy the octopus. So I was stuck out in the end of Long Island. And I came in, and my sister said, I'm going to a presidential rally today. Why don't you come with me? I said, all right, I don't know. I took a shower with bleach and lemon joy, get the stink off. Long story. Anyway, I went to the event. I saw it was really packed. The guy's name was Paul Tsongas. Paul Tsongas didn't like the Federal Reserve. He said, we can't be, for a Democrat, he said, we can't be Santa Claus. We're in big debt. He had, we put him under the clock, the debt clock. So anyway, I took over the event, blah, blah, blah. They made me field director. I didn't know anything about politics. I had sold political data, right, before anyone had a computer, because I built a computer in 1978 with a soldering iron, and I didn't know what to do, so I made like video store rental software and labels and lists I used to sell to politicians. So they made me field director. I don't know. I got things done. Then in like 30 days. So I was like, what the fuck? I told my friend he can have the business. I'm out. I'm in politics. He saw me on TV. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. And then, we won New Hampshire. I wired up a bunch of computers and phone banks in different places and different offices. Greek people, because he was Greek, so I'd call him up and tell him, hey, this is for the Greeks. And then he'd give me their office space and the phone banks and this and that. And we won New Hampshire, won a few states, but then we pulled out because the whole party was out and the money was coming in. It took 3 weeks for the check to clear. and you couldn't do anything, right? So when he came back, when it was Super Tuesday, we lost, so he withdrew from the race. He goes, I'm out of the race, just like RFK just did. I'm out of the race, can't run, and it's over. But me, I don't have my fishing business. I'm standing there like this. I just made a commercial with E.G. Marshall. I grabbed the volunteers. I had hundreds of volunteers on it. I was like, oh. And I'm like, I have extreme ADHD, and it has to have a lot of it later. Anyway, I have to do a lot of things at the same time, or else I can't do anything. Or else I forget where my head is, or anything. So I said, screw it, I'm going to go file with the FEC, committee to draft Songus. I think the statute of limitations is over. These guys are probably going to try to screw me with that too. Try. So I did committee to draft Songus. I kept going with the phone banks. I said, oh, he's still on the ballot. You can vote for him. Well, but he withdrew. So RFK got 2 or 3% of the vote. Me, I got 30.5% of the vote without a candidate 30 days after he withdrew. In New York State. Look it up. Fact checkers. So why am I telling you this? Because after that, they offered me a job. I go, what are you talking about? I'm going to destroy you. Because I had a lot of hubris and stuff. I thought it was hot shit. I said, I'm going to destroy you. You're done. Three days later, they gave me a bagel. I couldn't speak for about 3 weeks. I couldn't find any words in my brain or outside of my brain or anything. I couldn't speak. I used to have a full photographic memory, all gone. And my friend was the lawyer for these pig farmers who bought the Ritz, and they're going to open up Webster Hall. They're going to open up a nightclub. And they said, oh, this kid can get you the permits. I learned how to talk by running around to the hot dog salesman. These guys are done, man. I'm sorry. Anyway. What did I say? I said that on stage. That's pretty cool. And then I went into a business that was much safer, I went into the New York City nightclub business, and they made me the general manager of Webster Hall. Was the biggest nightclub in the world at the time. First night, because I used to get, we used to get like permits for different street fairs, a partner that I made at the time. And we walked the Halloween parade right into the club. We had throughout the clock, 9,000 people the first night. So all of a sudden, I'm a big nightclub manager out of the politics. Why am I saying all this? Because I had some slides. They're not there, but it's okay. It's my fault. I was supposed to send it like a month ago. I just gave it to him before. So, what happened? The guy launched, it's the meme coin that heard round the world. Oh, he didn't notify me. I've been in crypto 2.5 years, and he didn't. Donald did not tell me about this meme coin. He didn't tell me. That's not right. It's a meme coin. I don't buy meme coins. That's a permit. Actually, it's a permit to print money. Did I say that? No. It's a permit for all of us, right? These guys couldn't come up with their regulations. SEC is like, oh, I don't know regulations. Sit there. Hey, give us your papers and we'll figure out how we can try to help you. Give us everything you got. Register with us. We're the best. Everyone ran off. All my friends ran off. I opened that exchange over there, and the feds came to our door. We're standing there. Big play. Everyone was trading and this and that. I don't know. I didn't even charge. I didn't charge. I'm an activist. I didn't charge anybody. I paid the rent. I sold the deposit was like $300,000 deposit. It was like $36,000 or something a month. And the deposit was around $300,000 when I sold Bitcoin, a lot of Bitcoin, to put that deposit up back then. But it doesn't matter. I'm an activist. I made a deal with God. I said, if I could destroy these pricks who control the price of bread. I'll live on a park bench. I said, just let me do it. Let me do it. So, you know, it looks like these things are happening, but there's a lot more that's happening. So, hey, you know, I'm going to go get my ETF. Well, right now you got BlackRock. They're buying up all the people are giving BlackRock their money. He's telling all the states to put their funds in Bitcoin. I don't know if you heard Fink past couple of days. Well, there's a problem with that because if you read the fine print of the ETF, it says, well, if Bitcoin forks, we can move your money to any fork or anything, even if it doesn't look like Bitcoin, even doesn't resemble Bitcoin, even if it doesn't do anything like Bitcoin, we can move all the money of the largest Bitcoin holder. Let's say it forks. Say, hey, this is the one that doesn't have proof of work. You know, there's a proof of stake. So it's not going to be bad for the environment. You know, we have to do that. Because they can't take over Bitcoin because they can't buy the machines in time. They can't get the machines made fast enough. They can't get the electricity to the place where the machines would be. They can't build the building. They can't manage the stuff. You know, it's a three-dimensional world. You can't manage the three-dimensional world that easy, but they can manage the liquidity world. They just go think. If it's proof of stake, then they'll control the whole motherfucker. So, this guy Fink, speaking of Fink, rat poison, in the World Government Summit, in 2016 or something, the guy asked me, hey, what the hell's this guy's partner? Said, Bitcoin is like rat poison. What do you say to that? Like he was going to stump me at the World Government Summit in Dubai. I was like, well, the real question is, who are the rats? The guy was like, I don't know where that one came from. But I said, who are the rats? It was Mueller, what's the guy's name? Who said it? The Oracle of Omaha? Buffett said it. So I have a company called Public Appeal, right? They do data, door knock. We did all of RFK's signatures. We put, I don't even remember how many candidates on the ballot because you need signatures, and usually the parties make sure that you can't get the signatures. That's why they have they create all these things. And if you're an insurgent campaign or you're an independent party or something, they make sure you can't get them because they have. That's what a party is for. You got the two parties, and they organize down to the grassroots level to 10 square blocks and say, oh, this is our block commander. And they praise them a little, and they get a big slate where they say, hey, I'm here. You're on the slate too, you better go get these signed. And on top, they got the party guys. So they have this whole big network that gets signatures and puts people on the ballot. You can put like ballot access, you can put like stuff people can answer on the ballot in many places, not all, and try to change the world. So we do that. We do it for politicians, good ones. I worked for Ron Paul. I found Ron Paul there in 2007. I mean, I knew about him before, but I know he wasn't running as a Republican before he ran as a Libertarian. But when he ran for president as a Republican, I go, fuck it. I go, this guy needs help. Went down there. I had a bunch of real estate in the city, and there was one tenant. I could probably say it now. It was like some kind of strip club, I don't know. But we evicted him, didn't pay the rent. We threw all that garbage out and turned it into Ron Paul headquarters in 2007. He didn't know, no one knew. I mean, we threw all that stuff out. It was like a private, I don't know what the hell was going on in there. It was all weird shit. And using the internet, we raised a lot of money. We invented the money bond, not me. Some kid invented the money bond, but we promoted it. And we raised $4.3 million on the 5th of November. We used the meme, remember the 5th of November? And then we did the Tea Party. We launched the Tea Party by accident because we had a fundraiser during for the Tea Party date, and we raised $6.03 million in one day. Back then, no one raised even $1 million ever in one day. And Ron didn't even have to go to didn't have to campaign. So what's happening here. And then he says, oh, the only time they came up to me was when I raised the money. I mean, I've been here for 40 years and no one talks to me. I mean, I don't talk to the lobbyists because I'm not taking their money. And the other politicians won't talk to me because I'm not going to sign their garbage that they're getting the money for from the lobbyists to sign. So he said, so I thought of that and I'm like, oh, so, you know, the Bitcoiners raised $100 million for Donald. Donald got elected. And all these people are going to have their hands out, try to get our money. But the reality is, they're pushing for this, the ETF to, I'm not saying, I don't know, it could be a conspiracy theory or whatever, but I don't think so, because Elizabeth Warren, during the height of COVID, it wasn't Elizabeth Warren, the Universal Law Committee, during the height of COVID, put out an update that said, hey, only financial institutions can have a private key. So the UCC, I don't know if you guys know, is an interstate commerce update for the state legislatures. They usually rubber stamp it, every state, and that's how each state and people from each state can do business with each other. It's like some rules. So they put one out during the height of COVID that said only banks can have a private key. What do you think of that? So I'm laying in the bed, I had COVID, and I'm like, what? You know, I might have died if I didn't find that out. I think it woke me up. I was like, what the fuck? And then I went, I don't know, spent a lot of money. I hired the sleaziest lobbies from like 15 states, the sleaziest one. And we set up meetings on Zoom, and with Zoom calling all these things. And I think it was South Dakota. So we had meetings with all these guys before they stamped South Dakota. I said, well, listen, you got cows. Your cows, the ownership of your cows are going to be private keys. Meaning you're going to prove that you're the owner of the cow because they're going to be traded in certain exchanges, that the public key is going to be the VIN number of the cow, and if you can sign it, that means you have the title in your back pocket. So if you got any cows, they're going to be owned by the banks soon. And we're going to say, what did you say? We can't have this. So the guy woke up, right? So if you can communicate in a way that people can understand, after you communicate in a way that people can understand, maybe you can get even more allies. Wrap it up. Wait, one second. So what happened is after a bunch of states, they pulled it out. But they're coming back because because they want to control the private keys. That's how they're going to control it. So the way they're doing it is they're buying all the Bitcoin. They're going to control the Bitcoin. They're going to fork the Bitcoin. They're going to control the fork. The mining companies are selling. The private mining companies are selling because, you know, it was a long time before the thing popped. And the public companies have them. They're going to say, hey, we're going to whitelist only these institutional wallets in the mempool, and then you guys are going to be OFAC'd, your wallets, because we don't know who you are. You got to go do KYC through this big thing, and then you're going to be able to trade. So my father said, so there's a whistleblower that, curiously, one of my co-founders, a good friend of mine, he was a data scientist at Facebook, BlackRock, so he was a data scientist at BlackRock with a whole team under him. What happened was they were getting ready to put together the Bitcoin committee and whatever the heck they call it, blah, 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 blah. 3 or 4 days after they praised him on stage for being the top guy in the company, they fired him. Because they found out and saw his speeches that he was in the Bitcoin ethos. So I think they got something up the sleeve over there with the Finks. Dirty Finks. Rat. Poison. Finks. And one more thing. Here's my clothing line. Like I always got to say the clothing line. My father always said, Thirio den ginese an thirio den tros. A beast you will never become unless you eat beasts. You have to eat beasts to become a beast. These are ancient Greek sayings passed down. My father gave me another. He said, Βάρδα του Λεωνίδα βάρδα Μακεδόνη και ο Νικολάκης θα ρίξει βόλη και όταν τύχε παιδί. Move to the side of the armies of Alexander. Move to the other side, armies of Leonidas, and little Nick is going to throw his hammer, and that hammer is Bitcoin. We're all throwing the hammer of Bitcoin forward, and as we throw it, it gets more accurate, more powerful, more dense, till one day we could crack the world in half. Woo! Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Spanos!